Ball out. Ball out.
Bow, bow. Bow, bow.
Ball out.
Bow,
Ball out.
bow. All we do is bow.
Ball out.
Bow, bow, bow.
Ball out. Ball out.
Ball out.
Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out. Ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out. Ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Dropping by the mall out. Come deliver mail on y'all route. Show them what it's all about. Just get called out. Fall out. Me and my clique, we don't fall out. Me and my chick, we don't fall out. We minding our business, keep y'all out. Break up, get up quick, then we hit licks till it's all out. I hate my job, I'ma call out. Boss of myself, child out. I'm a recruiter, a high percentage shooters. Gotta keep rifles and Rugers. Some people just trifling and losers. Watch for the jackets, at night they be cruising. I can put together. A.R. Kinston Yetta. My hitters be tough in the leather. Can't nobody do it better. Glock 9 with the F in. Step in with my best friend. Best friend Smith and West End. If you miss 6, still catch 10. Ball out. Stall out. Pulling up outside the y'all house. Empty till we all out. I got the juice and I'm crazy. If you not a killer, don't say. Hit squad ain't nothing to play with. Undertaker and a grave dig. Best man like Tay Diggs. When you in the paint, gotta play big. Hitters ignorant like cavemen. Went from good fella to made men. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Shout out, ball out, get called out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out.
Sunday Night Live, Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. We got the draft, we got Dak, we got latest news, we got so much to get into. Boss Cowboy, say hi to the people, let them know how you feeling.
Hey man, what's going on, everybody? I see a lot of people in the building. My boy William Kill, he said, "What's good, BCS?" Yes, what's good, William? Chris, he said, "What's good, boss?" And then Brandon, he said, "What up, boss?" Keystone, he said, analyst team, let's go. And then we definitely have a special guest in the building, my boy Starboy, the one and only. And we have Mr. Macho with the LOL. And then Mr. Vance Sr. said, "Let's go." Les Bell said, "What up?"
Yeah,
so
boss.
yeah, man, show your love. I also put where you from. Let's start talking Cowboy time.
Man, there's so much to get into, man. Look, I'm excited because, hey, it's Sunday night. We get a chance to mix in with the people. We gonna get you caught up on the latest and greatest. What's coming next on Cowboys news, draft, like I said earlier, and a couple other topics. You know, as we get into this whole thing, Boss Cowboy, you know, one thing that's really kind of been on my mind, right? And I know you already got this teed up, is what's really going on with these deadlines, man, as we quickly approach March 9th, as we quickly approach the franchise tag deadline for the Cowboys. That'll be coming up here pretty quick. What we gonna do, Boss Cowboy? What we gonna do about this thing?
I mean, that's the go-to date. March 9th. Just put it on your calendar. That's gonna give us all the ability to forecast what's likely getting ready to happen. So obviously that's when they're gonna decide if they're gonna be able to tag Dak. And if they're going to tag Dak, it's going to get pretty real, OC. It's going to get pretty real. So that is the day to be looking for. It really is. That's the day to mark down. And we can go heavy into it now, or we can just kind of scratch it.
You know, boss, I mean, however you're feeling, but this is what I do know.
Right.
I do know that this coming Tuesday, February the 23rd, is the first official day that they could put the franchise tag on Dak Prescott. Will that happen? How soon will that happen? And is the franchise tag a stopping gap? Or is it a permanent situation for this year? Will the Cowboys aggressively work toward the long-term deal? Or will they continue to let this thing linger on and on and on into the summer? I will say one last time if it happens. One last time.
One last time. So you don't see this happening again. You think if this happened, this is it. Because I could already see what people saying out there, man. There's a lot of people hating it. They disagreeing with it. They looking at you right now. So and they listen and they like, oh, this guy. God.
Listen, guys. Let me give you the facts. All right. I mean, if you watch the video on YouTube, okay, go ahead and search Boss Cowboy Sports and look at the video that Boss Cowboy put out about why paying Dak Prescott $40 million a year is no big deal. In that video, Boss Cowboy, he explains the cap, he explains the future earnings from TV revenues and all those things. So if you haven't watched that, you need to check that out and you need to share that so that you can be educated as to what's going on. Here's the real deal. Listen, that franchise tag is going to get so astronomical after this year that it's not going to behoove the Cowboys to franchise tag Dak Prescott. That's what's going on. So based upon projections and what we believe will happen with the TV revenues, which happened several years back in the NBA, which is when you saw all these mega $230 million, $250 million contracts for 4-year extensions on players, you're going to see not exactly, but you're going to see something comparable come up in the NFL in the coming years. And so it does not make sense for the Cowboys to take up astronomical amounts of space in the cap, since everybody wants Dak to sign to be cap friendly, right? We have that argument, which is false, really. But listen, at $48 or $50 million a year, it's not going to behoove the Cowboys to have Dak underneath a franchise tag. And I think somebody else backs up ASAP and guarantee this man about $150 million if the Cowboys don't do it before the end of the season.
Yeah, man, that can play out pretty wild. It's in dangerous territory. That's why what you said is so pivotal when it comes down to what's going to happen on March 9th. So if they tag Dak with the exclusive tag, then what's going to happen is Dak gains way more leverage, and you can pretty much almost guarantee that he's going to at least play this season because he'll have all the cards. So he wouldn't give up his rights because he would have to sign a tag for him to become a tradable asset. Right. And that's not going to happen. So he would just let everything dry up. In wisdom, it would be the best thing to do easily. So he would just let it dry up. Free agency would dry up. The draft would concede. You're pretty much tied to him because you're going to have to free up space for a tag.
Yeah, Boss Cowboy, I love that point. And we hit on this, a little bit, I think privately before. But listen, best strategy for Dak Prescott and his team, if you throw that tag, no, Dak, don't sign it. Don't sign it. I love the Cowboys, but I'm also pro Dak in this situation. I would not sign that freaking thing because I want to make sure that I am not signing that tag and get traded all of a sudden. In the NFL, we got this game of charades with all these quarterbacks, right? Switching teams and stuff like that. And the OC told you that several shows back. I told you that at least around half of the NFL starting quarterbacks this year will change. All right. The OC predicted that. So what I'm saying to you guys is this: Dak Prescott needs to just, as Boss Cowboy stated, let everything dry up from the draft to free agency and drag it out as long as he can, which does not benefit the Cowboys, and why the Cowboys should, I pray, get a long-term deal done with Dak within the next 2 weeks, because in that scenario, now we can focus on knowing exactly what we have in the budget and we can fix other problems on this team.
Right. So yeah, man, it's everything you said just makes sense. It's just our options. And it already came out that basically they're gonna have to free up money for Dak. But everybody saw that coming. Everybody. So we wasn't surprised to see this. I do want to kind of acknowledge, because man, everybody kind of said where they from. We didn't have y'all do that for nothing. So we got my boy Natarian. He said South Carolina in the building. See my boy Geach Cowboy. That's a South Carolinian. I hope I said it right. South Carolina in. Oh, Jesus. And then Justin Durham, he said Pennsylvania. And then my boy Keenan, he out of the Virginia. So my boy William Kill said Plano. And I also see my boy Nick, he said Oak Cliff, Texas. That's exactly where I'm from, hometown. And that's my brother, would play ball with a receiver. And then let me see. Then they start talking football. But yeah, man, thanks for shouting out where you from. You know, obviously we want to give you some love on Boss Cowboy Sports. But yeah, man, that Dak situation, man, that is real deal. And it's the sad part is preparing for the show. Guess what I did today, OC? Just preparing.
What you do?
Man, I was looking through my formal articles, and I was seeing some of the predictions that I made. And it's scary how we're here on some of the things that we could really lose what does not grow on trees, and that's quarterbacks. It doesn't happen. And to see it, and all of us are novices to a degree because we don't get paid to do this, but we all saw this so clear coming. It just wow. And we gonna come back to that. I do want to say real quick, you know, this video right here on the YouTube, we did not put it on Facebook because right now we want to see what would happen over there. And it's a video that's more so made for YouTube. So go over there, check that out, save it, subscribe, hit the bell, and save this, because it's a lot of stuff that's predicted in there, and we gonna be able to look back in time and see what when we get there and look back and say, okay, did we see it clear and why? So go check that out. And it's been getting a lot of love. My boy Big Game, he showed us some love on his page, told his folks to check it out, which is obviously a big deal. Whenever you see other YouTubers and creators, cowboy content creators, co-signing, they really mean that, because they have to put their stamp on it. So obviously I appreciate that. And then we getting a lot of love also on the page with my boy C. He said this channel should have 20K or more subs. Boss bring knowledge, integrity, and grit. Salute. And I appreciate that. Yeah, man, that's what we try to bring on the show. The OC and I, we always talking about being loyal and telling the truth. So, so when we put content out there, it's for us to actually have an intelligent conversation. We're not gonna ever say that everything on there is absolutely correct. You can research, I research, and then we can even improve going forward. But we put it out there, information that's the truth on what's getting ready to happen.
And we take your feedback seriously, guys. So when you watch these videos, hey, give us a shout out, drop us a line, tell us how you feeling. We got more content coming, man, and it's exciting. So you guys are going to see more videos coming out more frequently. So please subscribe and share and like, and we're going to keep this thing going for you guys for sure.
Hey, man, my boy JD at the CC, he said, boss holding that mic like Lou Rawls might die. Hey, much love to the hometown. Much love. That's my boy. I was say Lou Rawls. Two fingers.
That's old
fingers.
school. That's old school. That's Soul Train.
Hey, it just came out. It was in my soul just to hold it with 2 fingers today, man. That's how I feel. But yeah, man. I'm gonna tell y'all it's another video. I definitely recommend go check this one out too. We have not pushed this video. We just put this as an extra where you can get real good content on what's the real difference between a 4-year versus a 5-year deal. And this breaks it down. You know, it breaks it down all the way. Y'all go over there and check it out. And you're going to learn some stuff that's going to really kind of help your judgment as you're watching the back and forth war with the Joneses versus Dak and his agent. So we just like all sides to kind of know what's out there so that we can measure the chessboard right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all check that out. Real talk. So, Boss Cowboy, man, what you want to get into next?
I know you been want to talk about this, but I'm going to brag on myself real quick. So this is December 20th. And I said, Wentz is officially done in Philly. I don't even respect them at all. And somebody asked me where you think they going, and I said the Colts. Hit that dead on the money. On the money. Boom. But a lot of people saw that coming. That ain't really too special.
And
Boss
Boss Cowboy, and we talked about this too, man. We talked about this several shows back. Some of our earlier shows, we talked about Carson Wentz. And I told you, I said, man, this man was done as soon as they drafted Jalen Hurts. He was done. He was fried because this guy is proven to be a head case. And at the end of the day, man, being hooked up with his old OC and the Colts and Frank Wright, they're hoping to resurrect his career, you know. But like I said before, man, I mean, listen, he ain't Jesus and he ain't coming back from the dead. And so how I feel about that is that this guy doesn't have weapons. This guy doesn't have receivers down there. That O-line better be dominant. They better have like a 2,000-yard rusher down there because that's the only way they're going to be able to get off and go deep into these playoffs. And while all at the same time, to me, in my opinion, the Philadelphia Eagles have got stronger at quarterback. They have a young, innovative offensive mind. They have Jalen Hurts. Yeah, they may get a veteran or may draft another quarterback because they don't have anybody else on the roster. So, yeah, of course, they need another quarterback. But at this point, that's Jalen Hurts' job to lose at this point. He's going to have every opportunity in the world to prove himself. And if he can stand pat, what I see is a more competitive NFC East with him being at the helm. And I see him coming up being almost Dak-ish if he can maintain some consistency over the next 2 years.
Who?
I see him be Dak-ish.
Who?
Jalen Hurts, man, I'm telling you. Run pass option. He's a good leader. I see him as being over the next few years with consistency, Boss Cowboy. I see him showing some Dak-like attributes. The thing that Dak was definitely better
don't you ever in your life.
I'm telling y'all the truth where you want to hear it.
I had to cut off this blasphemy. This was just blasphemy. I can't let you do it on seat.
All right, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to even argue this.
Okay, you just going to say no. You don't see any
I was
potential.
with you up until a baby Dak Hurts.
I said baby. I didn't say full grown.
Nah, man.
I didn't say full grown.
It's still disrespect.
It ain't
disrespect.
disrespect.
It's disrespect.
I see
Disrespect.
leadership qualities. I see leadership qualities in the young man. I see him. His team was rallying.
I got
when
in
he
my
was playing
feelings
quarterback.
because based on what you just said, you right. But I just got in my feelings. It's just
Okay,
that's
thank
Philly. I hate them. So you know how it is. Just sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You mentioned Philly quarterback with my quarterback. I was like, hold up. just emotional.
But listen, this is important for the NFC.
Serious.
This all goes back to the Cowboys. And here's what you got to ask yourself, because we got to cover the division too, Boss Cowboy, because we keep it real on the show. Did Philadelphia get better or worse at quarterback? That's the question. With Wentz being gone, did they get better or worse at quarterback? In your opinion?
It's early. I got a different opinion on Philly a little bit. See, it's the why Wentz was bad. So Wentz was bad when he started doing what I said he was going to do. I said they put a lot of weapons on the outside, and he's going to force it, and that's not his game. His game is intermediate throws and safe throws. He would thread the needle, high point, throw alley-oops all day. He's good at that part of the field. And he changed his game, and he fell off a cliff. Predictable.
I think it's more than that. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's also in his head too. It was the fear of Hurts. He showed that he can't take the pressure of having somebody on his back like Dak has done since day one. Having Romo behind you is a whole lot harder than having Hurts. Like, Dak would have accepted that. He would have been like, okay, come here, puppy. Yeah, he would have treated him like a puppy right now. He would have been like, I ain't worried about this dude, man. See, because people don't really just give Dak credit for something that's super obvious, but people don't say. For just throwing the ball good. People don't say Dak is accurate as hell. Like, Dak be, you remember that throw he made on the Browns? And they said, how did he get that in there? To Cooper,
man.
remember where he knifed him? Bow!
He needled it, yeah.
He needled. I'm talking about like gunned it, like, and you could tell he drilled Cooper. And they don't, our own fans, a lot of people don't just give him credit, man. It's super annoying.
Very annoying, man.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you good, brother. No, so all I was going to say is that, yeah, Dak Prescott is so much better than a lot of people give him credit for, but that'll be coming out pretty soon in the video that we're working on. So, yeah, for sure. But let's move on to Mike Fisher, though, man, because definitely we want to get into his content for sure, man. Mike always has some polarizing and intriguing things to say, Boss Cowboy. What you got on that David Irving situation?
Well, I think he came out with some stuff that was interesting about why. And it's one thing about doing this podcasting and stuff. You meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of players, and you meet people that you really know have some influence or something in the building. Okay. And one of the things when you see stuff like Mike Fisher give the background, in my opinion, on David Irving, what a lot of people don't realize is when you see it come from Mike Fisher and it's like this in this format, it's actually coming from the Joneses. So I was talking to Quincy Carter on the show West Coast, my brother, and you know, he said that exact same thing. He said, man, a lot of times when you see a direct message from the media, it's coming from the Joneses. So I just want to kind of tell people, when you read stuff and you see it coming from Mike Fisher, it's like anything. It's hearsay, but it's also could be some PR to where David might play really good for the Raiders and they want to get ahead of it. They want to say, with us, he didn't have the effort. That's what they were saying basically in this article. He wasn't a try-hard guy. That's what Mike Fisher was saying in this article. But you got to remember, that's their side. I mean, it's always three sides to the story. Yours, the other person's, and the real truth. You know? So it's just one of those things that where we've all seen where they come out and they'll say this player was X, Y, and Z, and then the other side will come out and then disprove it. But then it's also times where the Joneses was right. Like but they never said why. They just didn't put it out there. Like Lucky Whitehead, I'm gonna give him credit for that. I was mad at them because he got in trouble, and after he got in trouble, it came out that it wasn't him, it was another guy. But then they got rid of him and was like, we're not taking him back. But when they did that, OC and everybody listening, man, you know, I was like, man, but he wasn't guilty. Why you do that? But then you find out he messed with Zeke, former lady, and Zeke was going through that case with the NFL, and just keeping it all the way real with you all, saying everybody that's listening, it's like when your teammate is going through something potentially legal and reputation, your homie shouldn't touch that. That should be like, nah.
Yeah,
especially
man.
as an NFL player. Like when you're an NFL player, and we talking, and I'm like this with the OC from playing with him in college. If he would have been in any kind of trouble with any kind of potential lady and his reputation was on the line, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
You know? So when they got rid of him, that's one of those things when you find out the other side of it, you say, okay. You know what I mean? So that's why I say I want to look at that David Irving the right way, not just take their side like, oh, see, they said he wasn't a try hard. I mean, because when they worked them out, they talked about how he was gassed and out of shape where he was off the street. And see, that's why I said on certain players, what did they do? Now, I'm asking you, OC. We saw players from JUCO come in out of shape, but with great resumes. What did they do?
Gave him chance after chance, and they worked him out, and they got him into shape.
That's
And
what they
so, I mean, so listen, you bring up some really powerful topics, right? About, you know, the rumor about him messing with Zeke's, you know, lady, things like that. You know, Boss Cowboy, I won't name names because we may have some of these guys on the show in the future, but we actually had that happen in our locker room in college. Right, and it's very, and it was like almost a fight broke out behind it, right? So it was very, very destructive to chemistry, right?
Right.
And so you don't want anything like that because that gets real personal, right? And it's very destructive to a team's chemistry. So this also was rumored to happen on another NFL team with the Seahawks on why they traded Golden Tate away. So things like that. It's kind of unspoken rules, man. You don't do things like that. And I think that with David Irving, man, I mean, I don't know if he's not a try hard person. Maybe he's an unprepared person. Maybe he's a person who don't train hard, because we know even on our team, Boss Cowboy, certain guys didn't train hard in the offseason. Right? They're gamers. They go show up and they go be ready to play when it's time to play, but they're not trying to stay in shape like me and you was, you know, all around the year, right?
Right.
So David Irving is one of those type of dudes, man. His off season is not training; it's purely his off season. But if you look at him on tape, Boss Cowboy, you look at his effort on tape. I don't know, man. I see this man making a lot of plays. I see him being very disruptive. So I don't know if I can agree with that just at first glance.
Yeah, and man, my mind said you ride that out as long as you can. I mean, because I saw players come in. I saw a cornerback come in at 230.
Yes. yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And they put a fat suit on him. He got up in the morning and he ran at 5 a.m. and did the Stairmaster for 6 weeks straight until he lost that weight, and we got into the season and he played out of his mind.
Out of his mind.
Played out of his mind. Like,
out of his mind. Hey, man, my boy still legendary. Kenny Wayne. See, when you redeem yourself, we can talk about you starting bad and doing good. Right. My boy Kenny Wayne went from 230 to 190.
Yep.
Had the best game I've ever seen in my life. 20 tackles, 2 interceptions, returned the touchdowns with the game-winning tackle, scratched the guy in his eyes until he retaliated. Then he did a WWL fake response and got the flag on him, moved him back to third down and 80.
Yeah.
And we won.
Yes.
Say, so my point, we told that whole story and reminisce to talk about David Irving. It's like, God.
Yeah. And listen, man.
I just want to say this. He was cold, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah, man.
David Irving was cold, man.
Okay. Look, and I know you guys don't know some of these people I'm gonna name, but I'm using this as an example to all talk about David Irving. We had a couple guys on our team. We had my first year, all conference defensive end, Rusty. Remember Rusty?
Yep.
All right, we had Sweet Lou. Sweet Lou didn't come and work out. Sweet Lou didn't go hard in one-on-one drills.
I talk about some people they know, like Charles Woodson.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I mean? Because they don't know these guys we talk about. That we see it in our head. We like, whoo, and they was cold. Charles Woodson was like that.
Right.
Like, some of your greatest players are horrible practice players, and you give them the rope because they show up.
Right. And we had a pro coach in college, and he said this to some of our guys that were just good guys but bad practice players. He said, it's okay. We're going to say you for the game. We'll just say you for the game. Yeah. So basically what he was saying was this, guys, and this is the point about David Irving. As long as you show up in the game and you make plays in this game, we all good. Now, if you're practicing lazy and then you're horrible in the game, that's a problem.
Right.
But if you're lazy in practice and you're not doing what you need to do in practice, look, if you show up and play hard for us in this game and you make plays, hey, all good. All good.
So that's why I wrote an article about David Irving, and I said, buy and hold him.
Right.
You just buy and hold him until he matures. You give him a chance because he's dirt cheap and he's super upside. Like, if you can get even 8 pivotal games in the pivotal times with him, like, what if you had him in 2018 when we played the Rams? That game totally different.
Yeah.
They not coming at that middle. It's not happening at all. That middle done. It's Cook. It's Dallas. It's Ratao right in the middle. So, like, and look what we doing now. We need a DT. We need a DT. We need a DDT. We need a DDT.
Speaking of which, Boss Cowboy, what do you feel are some viable options in that position? We've talked about this before, right? That I feel we need to go ahead and do this thing through free agency. That's the best bet. But the problem is, Boss Cowboy, that, man, we can't go spend big dollars on the DT unless we know what's going on with Dak, because we don't know how much money we got left. So this is a whole conundrum going back to the Dak thing. But who you like out there, Boss Cowboy?
Let's go back to Dak, because, you know, we could talk Dak all day. All right, but we taking it from different angles. So don't think it's just Dak, but not looking at Dak in a way to where we're leading up to what's other dimensions of this Dak talk. All right. So another one by Mike Fisher, where he say Wentz isn't, will never be better than Cowboys QB Dak, and that's not actually Fisher, that's Richie Witt, so that's likely a guy that works with him. But, you know, he's featured on the article giving his thoughts on it. But at the same time, when it comes to Dak,
this is funny. You did this before. This is hilarious.
Yeah. Man, I wrote about this. The date on this article is October 2019. And it's the exact same thing that Mike Fisher said. It is the exact same thing, except I said it a different way. I said the logical faith for Carson Wentz' new contract projections, while absurd lack of trust for Dak's historical high production performance.
Yeah, man, this is just, you know, This was, we've had all type of, public, famous analysis and commentators state that he was the second coming of Carson Wentz, that is, second coming of luck, and he's a combination of Rodgers and all these great quarterbacks. Phooey, man. Get out of town with that nonsense. Dak is physically superior. Dak is mentally superior, and Dak makes better decisions with the football. The whole reason why Carson Wentz got yanked after the first several games of the year is just because he was making horrible decisions, and he had every possible opportunity to right that wrong. And listen, Dak Prescott played on the Pro Bowl level, and his position as a starting quarterback was still in question. He played at the Pro Bowl level, and his position was still in question.
That's
so
crazy.
There's absolutely, true. It is absolutely no.
I wanted you to say that one more time. You said it twice.
Dak Prescott played at a Pro Bowl level, and his starting position was still in question.
Oh my God!
It was still in question. So here's the whole deal about that, man. We got friendships and kinships, and we got biases here, right? And there's definitely been a bias in how Dak Prescott has been dealt with throughout this whole situation, which I'm a Dak fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. In this situation, man, Dak needs to stand his ground, and Dak needs to get what he deserves, if you ask the OC. That's the hill and the mountain I'm going to die on in this situation, because it's been completely unfair, and this has been just completely egregious how this whole situation has been handled, and now it hurts the team. Now you're in a situation, now you let this thing fester so long that you're gonna have to overpay Dak slightly, right? You're gonna have to overpay this guy slightly in order to make amends and make it right, so that you can build a solid team and fill gaps, so we can be a competitive team and make the playoffs and hopefully make a run.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna show some of my articles on the next show, because I was reading that stuff, bro, and I was like, golly. I was talking about this stuff beginning to filter into the locker room, and you seeing all of that. It's just, we dealing with this a long time. I want to take this from Gary, and I'm gonna start taking some comments from the people that's watching the show. My boy Gary said, y'all make sure y'all share before we get into a couple of more topics, man. Y'all go down there, hit that share button, forward this around to some people that like Cowboy content, or some groups, and that's it. Yeah, man, put that stuff out there. But Gary said Cowboys can free up $60 million in cap space if they wanted to. I refuse to let people that don't understand the cap push, the narrative, let me find the rest of your comment. Narrative that we don't have room.
Yeah. This is one of those situations where, where your parents want you to do something, right? And they kind of coach you, and they kind of like getting on to you, and they say, you can do this. And you say, I can't. And my mother used to say this to me: you can't, son, or you don't want to. You can't, or you don't want to. Same question for the Cowboys. I can't. We can't do it. We need more players. We got to have space. We got to sign this guy. We got to build a team. We got to fix holes. We can't. No, you can't, or you don't want to. That's the question, Boss Cowboy. That's the real question. And right now,
it's obvious, man. They don't want to, bro.
They don't want to.
It's not even no question. It's the answer. It's obvious. It's what it is. Like Dak. This is not hard, man. Like a lot of us been saying this for a long time. It's sad when I can pull up from 2 years ago today saying literally 28.5 in 6 years will close this out if you set the market. At that time, guess what the total guarantee was? Just right, a 100 million. That was
right.
It.
Right.
The market on the average was, man, I ain't gonna get into that. God, dog. But I'm gonna show y'all. I was reading and I was like, golly. And every quarterback that's blew up the market, I also wrote, watch out, because it can happen. I've been saying it like by name. I named all of them, and they all signed now.
Yep. Sign,
And,
stood, and delivered.
and Dak at 28 would have been the best deal ever for
And
6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And what makes it even more egregious, Boss Cowboy, is that 2 out of the last 5 that got signed have been now traded.
Yeah. So
They've
the
been
one that's
traded.
actually playing real good is the one that's getting, to your point, treated like he average. It's the craziest Twilight Zone-ish. I will say this though. I'm glad we talking about Dak for this. He finally starting to get his respect though. That's something to celebrate a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
He finally starting to get his respect, man. Boss going, see, they coming out now. Now people starting to step up and go ahead and say what's obvious. That Dak should be considered in the top 5. You got to. You have to. We can just talk about this list real quick. Just real quick. We can just go back and forth on it. Man, but I was telling people, and it's just common sense. How can somebody be pretty much top 5 in all the main categories, top 2 in yards, but not be top 5 in reputation? It don't make sense.
Or
You know-
pay, Boss Cowboy.
Or pay, yeah, we know the pay. I'm just saying, like, just also people finally saying, even though it's been obvious for a long time, it's been obvious that he's better than Wentz.
Yep.
How are you 4-2 versus a guy, but the guy that keep getting his ass whooped, they keep saying, but he's better. He's better though. He is. He got a bigger arm. He got a bigger arm. He's a bigger athlete. The dude keep dropping you. Bop, 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 bop. He putting him on you, and then but that other guy winning. What kind of refs are y'all? But like, how can a dude whoop you up and down since your rookie year? Just
Right.
you got some licks, you won some rounds, but the clear winner is Dak.
Right. Right. Yeah, so listen, out of that list, Boss Cowboy, I mean, this is what I'll say. Look, Patty Mahomes, I won't argue with.
Hold on real quick, OC. Go ahead.
I said
Patty
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I won't argue with him, right? If you want to say Aaron Rodgers, I won't argue with that.
Yeah.
You want to say Tom Brady? I mean, look. If you had a chance and Tom Brady was in a Super Bowl and you picked Tom Brady, right? If his team was playing the Super Bowl, guess what? You'll be right 70% of the time. So you know what? No, not gonna say nothing about that. Now, Deshaun Watson, we can argue that a little bit. We can argue that point because on this list they're saying Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Dak. I don't quite agree with that. Right? I think that actually, if you wanted to theoretically do this thing and you want to be fair to the veteran people that have won Super Bowls, right? Patty Mahomes, Super Bowl winner. Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl winner, right? Tom Brady, obviously Super Bowl winner. You could put Dak in the top 4. If you're being real about it, you can put Dak. So what we see here is a higher winning percentage for Dak Prescott. Higher total yards, comparable, equal TDs, interceptions, a little bit higher. But let me note that interception part. Because a couple years back, the Cowboys receivers had the highest number of drops in the entire NFL. The highest number of drops. So if we had half of those balls being caught, and 3 or 4 of those interceptions were tip balls, if you look back a couple years back. So we would have higher touchdowns, we would have lower interceptions, we would even have a higher passing rating, right, and completion percentage if even half of those balls were caught and not dropped. So to me, these guys are splitting hairs if you look numerically. Boss Cowboy, to your point before, Dak Prescott plays in a much high-pressured environment, playing at the Star, and has played in a lot of big games with a lot of pressure. Deshaun Watson has not faced that nearly as much as the Dak Prescott. So to me, I'm gonna go ahead and edge. They're very close, but I'm gonna edge Dak Prescott on this one. What do you got, Boss Cowboy?
So going back to the top 5, and I'm gonna break this down Boss Cowboy way. Patrick Mahomes is definitely a more skilled thrower than Dak because it's it's an arm talent thing.
Yes.
So that's specific. It's an arm talent thing. So when you saying arm talent, you saying a guy that can put the ball pretty much accurately off balance anywhere. That's Patrick. Okay. He doesn't have to set his feet. He can do all the things that they say you're not supposed to, like cross your body, right? Throw cross field. He does those type of things. He's like a baseball player with a football in his hand. He's extremely accurate from multiple angles, off platform. And people don't, I want to break down why that's better. Because when you have a quarterback that can do those off angle throws, off platform throws like Patrick Mahomes, you got to understand that the game of football is a game of inches. So a guy that can be backing up, getting pressured, but deliver the football on time, that skill alone moves the chains. That's an epic skill. So that's why you got to always have Patrick Mahomes as number one just because of the talent. Okay. Aaron Rodgers is right there too. Both of them are the same, so I ain't got to say the same thing. Aaron Rodgers is a little bit more seasoned and defined, but they're the same in terms of arm talent. Then you got Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson can make some of the most flashiest, freakiest, arm talented throws. He is absolutely the number one improviser on that list, and it's not even close. He is the best at improvising. It's crazy how good he is at that. It's crazy. He is amazing at it. So if somebody said Deshaun was number 3, I can't fight him too much. All I can honestly say is Dak is also number 3 with him. If somebody said that, I ain't gonna argue with you either, because with Dak, you have more games, you have more clutchnesses, you definitely got those it factor things, which you also have to measure. You have to measure how does somebody play under pressure. You got to measure how does somebody play with Romo behind them. You got to measure how somebody goes head up with Aaron Rodgers and gunslings with this dude as a rookie. You got to put that in your checks of G and leadership and quarterback. So you got one that you clearly got to say is a killer improviser. You better give Watson that. Jesus, he the best at that. I mean, literally nothing there. He would literally rotate out and throw a laser. So, but then going back to Tom Brady, man, I'm taking Dak right now. The only reason it's hard to say because what the old man accomplished is so epic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brady just was so epic in what he accomplished, and you can't take away from his performances in the clutch. That's like you gotta kind of have him at 4, because it's like even though Dak is up and coming, you know, for sure, and Dak is like go be in the top 3 run in the next 2 years if they don't break this team up, for sure. Like, so, but just how Brady finished.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Brady, man, it's not an arm talent thing. It never has been an arm talent thing with him. Never.
Yeah,
but here's the thing that sets him
Hold
apart.
on, OC. Hold on real quick. Go ahead.
I said, here's the thing that sets him apart from all those guys on that list, right? Is that this is what it's called decision-making ability, right?
Yeah.
He makes the best decisions with the football.
Right.
He makes the best decisions with the football.
So underrated.
His understanding of what the defense is doing is only comparable in his prime to a guy that's retired now, that's a Hall of Famer, which is called Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah.
We used to call him the sheriff, right?
Right.
Because the thing is, what Peyton Manning did is that he always made sure the ball went to the right person at the right time with the right route or checked into the proper play based upon what the defense was doing. So his recognition and his decision making is second to none, and that's what's made him win 7 Super Bowls, man. And he got and Tom Brady has something too that I think is even a little bit stronger than I would say a Deshaun Watson at this point in his career, right? And comparable to everybody else, Tom Brady is not credited with the amount of moxie. He has moxie. He has an intestinal gut to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't trip in the clutch at all. He
that
actually
stuff you can't measure. There's
he
no
rises. He rises in Super Bowl games, dude.
And
He
that's
rises.
big. Like people underrate clutch.
Yes.
You can underrate clutch. Like
Right.
some people be like, Ori, he got 6 rings or 7. How many? Ori got a lot of rings.
Yeah,
I say,
six,
bro,
6, 7.
don't you ever in your life minimize people that's get cold under the greatest pressure.
Yeah.
Don't. That's insulting to a real athlete, like of any sport. You could have played tennis, gymnastics. I don't care what it is. If you competed, taekwondo, you know when people rise under pressure, you have to credit that, man.
Right.
Period. And see,
Right.
that's where Brady and Dak. See, Dak the closest to that.
Yeah. Dak
That's
had
real
more-
talk. That's the
had
closest to that, man. My boy Jose said something one time. It was one of the biggest compliments you can say about a player. We were just talking football. And he said, man, when it was 4th and 15 in 2018, when we needed to get that first down, I knew Dak was going to hit that throw. I said I felt the same way. Because it was, that people that have that, I mean, the weight of the world on you, and they just cool. Montana was like that. Like Montana was like, I remember one time, man, one of my favorite stories. They say that San Fran was driving to win a Super Bowl, and it was the last drive. It was a television timeout, and they said Joe was in the huddle, and then he looked up. He said, "Hey, man, that's John Candy." And so everybody stopped and they looked.
Like what?
Like what?
Like, what you talking
He
about?
said, "Yeah, that's John Candy." And they was like, "Okay." He said, "Yeah, man, we good, man. We do what we do all the time. Let's go win this game." And they just went down there. You know what I mean? It was like he calmed them down. See that type of stuff? People
Right.
underrate that. Like
Right.
they underrate those guys that can, and that's Brady. And like,
Yeah.
look how Brady won that Super Bowl. He won that thing going to dogs.
Yep.
He went to
Gronk out.
Gronk, who was silent for most of the year, and AB, who was silent for most of the year, and then he gave Mike Evans, the dog, the big play. It's decisions, like you said, man. So that was a good list, but I love
Very
the
good
fact that our quarterback is starting to get some love finally, and it's gonna be more official once they stop all of this. Once they pay this man. Because I'm trying to imagine Dak now after you pay him. When you pay Dak, oh my God. Let me get off Dak. I've been on Dak too long. I'm sick of talking about Dak. Pay this man. All right. We finna flip the script. And then I'm going
All
to
right.
take some what people saying. This
Uh-oh.
is a big board. It was called Cowboys Draft Big Board. So all you draft heads, y'all get on up. If you was tired of the gossip and the rumor stuff, wake up. It's time to talk about the future. And this is the Cowboys Draft Big Board is what they say. So I first want to hear, and y'all shares. Make sure y'all share with some of them draft heads. Some of them people that you know like to get in here and start talking about, the punter from Hawaii. It's a kicker from India. So send it to them people. And then Quenisha, I see you in the building. What's up? She said she coming off Law. Already, man. Law the man. Appreciate you showing your love. Let me see also my boy Tavis Banks said cool. They talking to each other, man. So my boy Kerry in the building from H-Town.
What's up, Kerry?
Yeah, my boy OC from the H. And the yellow skin. Y'all should be best friends. Both of y'all, man. Y'all all that yellow skin. We call those we call them in Dallas yellow skin. Yellow bones in the house. So yeah, but going to this Cowboys draft big board, what's your thoughts on it, OC?
Man, I think that the first couple cornerbacks is questionable. I would not have Patrick Surtain as a number one cornerback. I don't think he's better than Diggs. I don't think he was better than Diggs last year. All right,
hold on real quick. My boy 43 Flex out there YouTube, he said, man, what it do, boss? What's up, Flex? All my boys coming off that YouTube, sitting over there watching. We got love for YouTube over here. But go ahead, OC. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I see Lance Bell in the comments. He said he likes Surtain, and that's cool. What's up, Joyce? How you doing? But Surtain is just okay. I think he gets a lot of street cred because of his dad. And listen, his dad was a great cornerback. And I'm not saying that Patrick Surtain is not a good cornerback, but I'm saying I don't think he's better than Diggs, and I don't think he was better than Diggs last year. And the issue with drafting him in the first round and you drafted Diggs in the second round, you got two teammates that came out of the same college, and one is not better than the other if you break down the tape. And then you got Patrick Surtain being paid a whole lot more than Diggs is paid. Now, Caleb Farley, I like him as an athlete. I think he's a good athlete.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Yeah. These boys talking too good. I gotta feed this to the show. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry. We go come right back to that because I want to get you finished.
Gerard. I see Gerard. He said he better than Diggs. I heard him.
No, this Chuck. Chuck done went like way different direction. I want to kind of go with what he's talking about.
Yep.
Just a quick audible. I like that. It's off. Chuck took it left, right. Chuck said, and I'm gonna throw this at you, OC. He said that 4-3 defense would keep down the injuries at linebacker, especially middle.
I think that the 4-3 defense keeps down injuries from the middle linebacker position if you have two gap defensive tackles. If you have defensive tackles that can keep guards from pummeling your middle linebacker, it helps in that scenario, right? I don't think that generically by going into a 4-3 defense, it really helps. That's a great comment, though. But I think that what keeps your middle is the ability of them to run free and plug holes and make plays. But you got to have the hogs up front to make that happen.
Gotcha. I just wanted to take that because, he threw that out there. I wanted to get my boy OC's take on it, and I definitely agree. But back to what you were saying on this big board. Let's go.
Yeah. So Kevin Carey, he said Caleb Farley is fire. Yeah, I like Caleb Farley, man. I think he's a real good athlete. I think that he projects well to the NFL. I like him better than Patrick Surtain. Sorry, Gerard. I saw Gerard in the comments. Obviously, man, Sewell is the number one offensive lineman, period. He would have been the number one offensive lineman in the last 3 or 4 years drafts, right, had he come out. He's fantastic. He's head and shoulders above the rest. It's no doubt about his skill. He's at least a 10 or 12-year starter if he's healthy. He'll be a 10 to 12-year starter. So I think he's fantastic. I think that he'd actually be the number one player for the Cowboys, minus them drafting a quarterback on my board, okay? Rashawn Slater is a good, strong hammer. I like him a lot. We did some tape breakdown on him before. J.C. Horn, I think, as a cornerback, is a little bit underrated. He did opt out. His father, the famous late receiver that played very, very well for the Saints, Michael Horn, I believe, was a receiver for the Saints. And so that's his son, J.C. Horn. He's a good athlete. He got some skills. I think he projects well. Michael Parsons will be the number one defensive player, in my opinion.
What do you think of this list in general? You break it down every player one by one with no film.
Yeah, man. So look, because I've already watched film on all these guys, Boss Cowboy.
I'm just saying, but like you break it down, everyone. This guy. This guy.
So check it out. All right. So let me give you a 2-sentence summary. All right.
Yeah. What you think of this whole list? This whole list together.
The whole list together is okay. I'll admit a couple players out of there. Xavier Collins is a wild factor. I don't think he's top 10. I don't think he's the player that you want to draft for a linebacker for the Cowboys. But other than that, I like many of these people on the list. I told you mostly who I don't like, Boss Cowboy. I think that most of these players will be solid picks for the Cowboys. Most of them.
Oh man, I could tell you what I think of that list.
Oh.
When I see that list give me diarrhea. I know I was looking at that list, I was like, what? Oh, this list gotta be fake. And then I looked at the list and I just had to start laughing at it. It was I hate that list. Cause see, this list says Cowboys draft big board. So when you're dealing with a big board, you're like, their reputations might be one thing, but how we view these players in relation to us is how we're gonna rank this list. And this list is saying like some kind of way the Cowboys real list leaked out. And this list bet not be the Cowboys list. I mean, when I say bet not be, bet not be the Cowboys list, big board. It bet not. And it's no way it is. No way it is. So I'm looking at this list, and this list is telling me that on the Cowboys big board that they literally have Sewell ranked under Surtain and Farley.
Yeah, so Boss Cowboy, look, man, hold on. Let me cut you off just real quick, man. You know we too early in the process to get a real list from the Cowboys. We too far out.
We would never get that list anyway, one, but two, the people who made this, I can tell they trying to be sneaky. I'm going to tell you what this list is. This list is somebody who trying to lobby for defense. This is a list that's based on need. That's what this is. Look at this. You're telling me Horn? You don't have none of that offense on this list? Look at this list. Where's Waddle?
Yeah.
Where's D. Smith?
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean,
look at this.
To your point, we're never going to get a list, but if they did leak something, this wouldn't be it.
This wouldn't be it. J.C. Horn over D. Smith, over Chase, over Pitts.
Yeah, Rodney, I saw your comment. Joe Horn was a former receiver. Thank you for clarifying that. I think I said Michael Horn, so my bad. Joe Horn.
Then somebody got Xavier. Oh,
yeah,
no.
But listen, okay, let's talk about this. Okay,
this is your big board. This is Dallas's big board. Like sometimes, like, so this would go down in a fake news category. It just ain't no way. Go ahead.
But let's play along, Boss Cow.
I'm not playing with this.
No. Listen. Let's play along. If you had the draft, a couple players off this list, who do you believe would be draftable players off this list that would help the Cowboys? Who do you believe? If you had to pick 4 or 5, let's just go half the list. If you had to pick 4 or 5 draftable players,
I will pick that list, but I'm not believing that list is their 10. Like that's their. You telling me that's the top on their?
No.
So like, I would pick this list. Let me go back. Hold on, OC. I'm gonna go back to it. All right. Here the list. Yeah, I would rock that list. Like, but it's sad. You telling me Surtain at the top of your list? You got Surtain at the. Do you got Surtain over Parsons? You have Surtain over Sewell?
No way.
Man,
I don't have Surtain over Slater.
Exactly.
I would have him
yeah,
over
and
Slater.
I can let, and I backed off of Slater. Like, I'm not as high on Slater as I was. I think now I will put them corners maybe over him, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the class. You know what I mean? I think it's some Slaters in this class, in my opinion. That's another conversation. But just looking at this, no, I would get this list, but I wouldn't get Xavier Collins even close to 10. Not even close. I'm more so third round. I know that some people hate that, but that's me. Cal Pitts.
To me, man, I think that he's such a unique athlete. I'm not sure if he would be there at 10, all right? If he lasts that long, then he's much higher on this list.
He's starting to scare me.
He's starting to scare you.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a little buyer's remorse on him.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's a unique talent, man. And listen, we know if you fast, you super fast, and you're athletic. With him, I think what it's going to come down to is his 40-yard dash, right? What is his numbers like? Because if he runs a freaky fast 40, dude, he's gone in the top 7 or top 8. Based on his tape and based on some of the things he's done and based on his potential and upside. That's my opinion from what I've seen him do. But a couple of those tackles there, look, are pretty good, man. Those DBs off at the top, it's definitely, it is some bias if you look at it. But there are some draftable players there. I think probably about 5 that would really help the Cowboys if you did draft those players.
Yeah, so I want to address this. My boy Kevin, he say maybe it might be they list or close to it. Don't see them drafting the receiver. And that's a good point. This list could be, but this list is not a big board.
Right.
Because if it's a big board, you still have to rank the talent that's on the board, in my opinion. Like, I still have to have even quarterbacks as talent. Like, I'm not saying I might get them, but you go have them there. You go definitely have them there in your big board, because what if they drop? You want to have a real number of this cat just dropped 30 spots or 40. You list your board on the top of talent. This is about talent. So even if you're gonna sometimes need. Oh, I'll put it like this. Let me put the board back up, just to talk smart with my boy Kevin. We just talking good ball. So, in my opinion, it's certain people that have top 10 talent. Micah Parsons has top 10 talent. See what I'm saying? So he would be listed with top 10 talented whatever, receivers, tight ends, centers, guards, corners. How but if they all together, like, so let's say if I had Parsons as 11th on my talent level and Pitts as 9, well, I still might go Micah Parsons. You see what I'm saying? Because the defense is a major bigger need, but talent wise I had them closer together. So I just don't believe this big board. I think this big board shouldn't make assumptions on I'm gonna just take off receivers because we might not pick one. And like, no, because some of those receivers separate so well on a talent gap to the other guys. I just don't see it. Hold on real quick, OC. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously on this, I mean, I think that you got to kind of look at the fact that this was customized to where whoever did this is thinking that, hey, the Cowboys would draft these particular positions they would draft potentially these positions and that these players would potentially, right, be available at 10. This is not an actual top player, right? Because there's a difference between, who do you rate as your top players, right? Best player available, right? And then who do you think the Cowboys are likely to draft 1 through 10, which is a little bit of variation on that, right? A little bit of variation. So to your point,
Yeah, let me take Queen. Queen going hard. She talking good football. Let's take the Queen. She said Micah Parsons is an athletic freak, yes, but he has the football diagnosis of a toddler because he can't diagnose plays. Also, staying out for a year worked against him because he needed to learn how to diagnose plays. Parsons' coach kept him in one area of the field and told him to stay there. What's your thoughts on that, OC?
Yeah, Queen, really good comment. But we've seen many freaky athletes that wasn't real smart get drafted real high, right? So again, this is a guy that has enough hype coming out of Penn State that if he runs good and he lifts good and his measurables look good, people are going to say, this guy's an athlete. I can take this guy. This is the nature of NFL teams and players. We've seen it with a couple guys that we know personally that's been drafted Boss Cowboy and played a while in the NFL, right? They weren't necessarily the best player, right? But they had enough tape and they were athletic enough to garner the interest. And so that's what I think with Michael Parsons. I think he is freaky athletic. I think that a coach will say, I can teach him certain things, but he's athletic enough and has the measurables. And I think he'll test well, Queen, to where he'll still get drafted pretty high.
Yeah, and I think it's always a coach that think they can teach. Right. It's always, and then I had coaches who changed my game because they was great teachers. I saw coaches take athletes that didn't have it all upstairs and get them to get it.
Right.
Because there's some talented teaching coaches. Like there's some of them are like really trained teachers. Like they get you to get it. They're psychology majors. Like you remember our safety James.
Yep.
Man, Coach Henderson, who ended up coaching in the NFL, oh my God, he laid it into him so bad after we played Cal. Mm-hmm. Man, he fussed at him the whole week.
Yeah.
But he needed to be tough on him because he was so athletic. He had to show him that you're not special and that you got to learn the cerebral side, not just the athletic side. And he never had a week like that. And that was our first week. We had a game, and he showed him how he was out of position 70% of the time. Mm-hmm. But James was just a freak athlete. But when he turned on and put both together, oh my God, you remember? Yeah. Awesome. Dude, dog. Awesome. So awesome. I think it's some truth on both sides. I think definitely Queen being very accurate. I think he did also, from what I saw about him, he moved around a lot.
Right.
I thought he moved around a lot, from my film on him. And sometimes that's bad as well. It's hard for you to really master the nuance of a position if they trust in your freakiness so much that they just putting you at needs. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the other side of it. Like,
yeah.
You gotta be it's only very few athletes that can do that and don't have a downturn. Like David Irving could go from the outside to the inside, and JJ Watt in his prime could play anywhere and still can.
Still can.
Charles Woodson could literally play all 5 of the defensive back positions: corner, nickel, strong, free, no downturn. I can't think anymore. Deion Sanders. Yep. So we talking about the super exceptional. So same thing with Simmons. Remember from Clemson?
Yep.
They kept moving him at Clemson. Safety, linebacker, safety. But he was killing everywhere, but he mastered nowhere. So now when he ended up playing linebacker, finally sit your butt down and learn this. He was second team, but was a top 10 talent, to Queen's point. the cerebral side needed to catch up. The second half of the season with the Cardinals, we start seeing the freak that was drafted because it started to all gel, the freakiness and the cerebral. So that's my vision of Parsons. I would be on the side of I would go for teaching this guy because he's just so freaky athletically. And I listened to him, you know, in his interview to try to judge, is he, you know what I'm talking about, OC. You got those athletes that's
right. Yeah.
And you know if you put a mic in their face, it's going to expose it. Like, you know, we both been around them in the locker room like, no, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. They're gonna mess it up. So Parsons don't come across like
right. Yeah.
He come across like, okay, you want me to play the end? Okay. The middle? Cool. Weak side? Sure. Inside? Cool. I'm gonna make a play. A cat that believed in himself. One more. I'm gonna give you one more good example. My boy Milligan. You remember Hannick? Hannick Milligan used to be very for real. Go ahead.
Played for the Chargers, guys. All right, you can look him up. His teammate played for the Chargers.
All pro. Yeah, he was all pro. We played with him. My boy Hannick was serious. He would say, "Coach, put me at the 3. Let me get some sacks." Yeah. And I think he could.
Yeah. He was something else, man.
He was something. It's only so many athletes. So my boy LBE, he asked the question. He said, first he said, I want to take his first question. Do you think Michael Parsons could drop to the Cowboys? Yes. Then he said, do you want in a draft? I want the best that's available at 10. Hey, you can elaborate on that. I got some more thoughts on that. I've been talking a long time.
No, it's fine, man. No, I think that Parsons could drop, and this is how he drops: a run on quarterbacks and a run on receivers, right? That's how he drops. The early run on quarterbacks 1 through 5, an early one on receivers. As soon as Chase goes off the board, right? As soon as he goes off the board, I think that it'll be a run, right, on the other top receivers in the draft, and then that could push down Michael Parsons. I think regardless of what Sewell gets drafted in the top 5, right? Regardless, that's my opinion. Offensive tackle out of Oregon. But if it's an early run on quarterbacks, pair it with an early run in the top 7-8 picks with a top wide receivers, Heisman Trophy winning receiver, wide receiver out of Alabama, then I think that we get Parsons available around that 9 to 12 spot potentially. But if it's not an early run on quarterbacks and receivers, I think that he will be scooped up probably somewhere around pick 6 or pick 7. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think Parsons could drop, and I actually think he is. I think he's gonna drop because I always factor in when I'm looking at the draft. I always factor in like a wild decision. You see what I'm saying? Like I always say, it's gonna be logical for most of it, but in that first top 10, it's gonna be somebody that's gonna be like, "What?" You know? And I think the reputation of, that leak that came out that was about him in a hazing event, that will drop you out the top 10 as well, where people that's making these decisions, their jobs on the line. You see what I'm saying? And they want the safest pick that's not going to reflect on their judgment. And the top 10 to me is going to stay about talent with very little reaches, except maybe 1 or 2. It's going to be some, but just maybe 1 or 2. So he is one of my most likely to drop, you know?
Okay.
So I definitely think he's possible, because I think a lot of teams are goody. And especially in the top 10, they thinking about image. They thinking about the guy that's going to excite fans. They're thinking about the guy that's like checks all the boxes on the hope campaigns that they're going to run. You know what I mean? So I think whenever you're dealing with them single digit picks, most people want them like squeaky. So, and I think he fit a place like Dallas, because Dallas will do it. Like, itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't see him making it, boss. Because I mean, if we look at the draft order, Boss Cowboy, I mean, we see the Jets, we see Houston, we see the Jets at 2, we see Houston at 3, we see Atlanta at 4, we see Cincinnati, which is not scared. They already have a quarterback, right? I mean, if Sewell is not there, I think they could potentially be looking at him. We also know that the Philadelphia Eagles, they could go ahead and draft a quarterback, but I don't think so. Okay, I think that that's a team that could really pick him up, right? And also, if you skip over Detroit and you look at number 8 and number 9 with the Panthers and Denver, especially with the future of Von Miller and Flux, right? At number 9, they are looking for another hybrid guy. They have a young guy, Chubb, that's a great defensive end there, right? But they may need another young stud that they can plug in to replace Von Miller. And Carolina is historic at drafting speed and defensive players. So I think between Carolina, Denver, Philadelphia, man, I don't see it, man. I don't think he gets to his Boss Cowboy. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it's too early. I think we got to get through free agency. We got to see what holes they all feel to acquire those needs. I think this is going to be the craziest free agency we've ever seen. I think the cap is getting ready to cause havoc on a lot of teams, and it's going to be major shakeups to where it's, when I speak on Parsons, I'm not specific yet on what these teams going to do. You know what I mean? Not yet. I want to see what they do after, you know, that shakes out. And then that'll help me better predict what could happen with Parsons, because there needs to be filled through free agency, and the remaining holes will still be obvious. That's how I kind of see shaking out in terms of the draft order.
That's fair, man. That's definitely fair. I think that a couple of these guys, we can predict based upon previous experience what they're going to do in free agency. You know, obviously Houston is a dumpster fire right now, but if you follow reports and media reports, you know, one of the more recent reports that came out that said they're not trading Deshaun Watson. So he's going to have to hold out or do something like that. So I don't think he's getting out of there. Obviously, Larry Tunsil took him to the bank, you know, 3 or 4 times, man, with his contract, right? I don't see them drafting Sewell, and I think that, you know, they go receiver, right? Or maybe they go deep. Big in terms of the moves they make to stack their roster in free agency, right? I think that these are more guys that will deal with stuff in the draft, right? That will be more draft heavy, right? And to me, Cincinnati is more draft heavy, right? I think Philadelphia is more draft heavy. I think Detroit is more draft heavy. I think a place like Carolina is more draft heavy, and so is Denver, right? I don't see these guys historically making big splashes and big moves in terms of free agency. And so based on that, Boss Cowboy, I think that if we look at their history in terms of the free agent market, I think we can ascertain certain things, not exact to your point, Boss Cowboy, but we can make some good educated guesses.
I don't think even close.
Okay.
I think this year is just so out of whack. I think the past is not going to be a good predictor of the future this time. Not this time. Like, look at even how we got to analyze athletes. You know what I'm saying? My boy Will still in the building. What's up? He threw up the fire emoji.
Skywalker.
So, but I think it's one of those things where I think it's gonna be crazy, unpredictable crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get it. Like, man. Like, wow. And it's already wow. And in terms of Deshaun Watson, but like, think of it. We just had Goff trade for an older quarterback. We just had Carson Wentz go to the Colts. This gonna keep happening. It's gonna be major shakeups. It's gonna be it hasn't even started, and it's like, what? Like I predicted the Colts. I showed you the evidence that I did, but still, it's like they did that. They really did it.
Yeah. Well,
We
to golf's
we
point,
truly should be uncertain about Dak until the 9th. We don't know really the future on Dak until March 9th. Right?
We're gonna be uncertain about Dak even after the 9th, bro. Even if they franchise.
Well, I'm saying at
tag
least
him.
playing through the season
Right
now. Because right now, you're right.
Right
You got to
now.
take the Cowboys one at a time. You can't. I ain't thinking 3 years out until they ink this guy. You know what I mean? I'm thinking,
Yeah, man.
get through this season. But anyway, but just saying, I think it's hard to say what's gonna happen to me. I think it's getting ready to be scary. OC, you gonna mess around and see Matt Ryan go somewhere. Hold on, real quick. Let me go ahead.
No, I'm saying Matt Ryan might be out of there. You know what I'm most interested to see is what happened at picks 2 with the New York Giants. Do they draft a quarterback or do they draft Sewell? Right? Who they draft will tell us really how that first 10 is going to go.
Man,
I think they're the pivotal pick.
That can shake up. That can shake up.
That's
See,
the pivotal
because
pick.
if you over here drinking your Kool-Aid thinking we just need to build around Sam Darnold, you over drinking your Kool-Aid, that's my guy. And we know that happens because it happens at good old Texas. Good old Texas does that. We like our guys. Yeah, we hear that. We know all of us sitting here even expected it with Xavier Woods. We sitting here like we've seen you do this a lot, so we expecting it. We expecting him on a team friendly deal. So I think that same thing can happen, bro. When I look at some of these teams, man. When I look at some of these teams that's sitting here, let's talk in general. Then let's just kind of play with potential shakeups. Because we record this, we gonna be right on some of this too. Houston go shake. Mark my words, it's gonna be epic. All right, it's gonna be epic. Houston is gonna shake, and I'm saying Houston in terms of Miami. And this is why you talked about earlier. You raised a point about the Texans saying we are not trading Watson. Well, this is what I pick up from that owner's speech. It's similar to Jerry Jones with less skill, where you're trying to create leverage out of nothing. Like no hype videos and stuff like that. This is what they're doing. It's giving the impression that it's going to work out. We're not open to talk. But you're really taking offers and you taking calls and you preparing to make a move. Because Deshaun Watson, I guarantee you that Goodell himself is going to step into that. You're not going to have a quarterback to the skill level of Deshaun Watson sitting out. That's bad for the league. You know what I'm saying? That's bad for entertainment. So
right, but would he hold out though with the amount of money he's being paid and take those fines?
That's what I'm saying. Is the league go step in like say, I know I'm hearing you want to not trade this guy, but we not gonna have our brand with one of our best guys not playing because y'all can't work it out. Hey man, work it out. Like if I'm Goodell, I'm getting on the phone like, man, trade that guy. We'll give you some on the back end. We'll scratch your back somewhere else. You know what I mean? We'll put the Super Bowl in Houston or something. But you're not gonna have a talent and a box office guy tied up to drama like that. You're not.
Yeah.
That's bad for business. And I think it's a unique year too, OC. So we gonna bring out some of the quarterbacks and talk about them just a little bit. Okay. So I think it's a unique year in terms of talent as well. I think the guys that's sitting there are so talented, right? When you're dealing with Fields, Zach, you know what I mean? Sunshine. When you're dealing with that, if you're the Texans, you trying to get back in this top 10 and land any one of them. And if you can get to the Jets for Deshaun Watson, and you can say we got Sunshine or we got Zach, we back. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Houston goes. I'm betting you Houston is going to shake back into this top 10, man, with Watson.
That could happen. That's the more probable move, right? If they traded Deshaun Watson to the Jets, and they got a couple first round picks, and they got one next year in next year's draft, yeah, I mean, you very well see them picking quarterback at number 2, right?
Yep.
That's the obvious pick, right? But if they don't do that, right, and they stand pat, right, and they're out of the top 10, then the domino that needs to fall is the Jets going to draft a quarterback at number 2? Because we already know what Jacksonville is going to do. Trevor Lawrence. They're already talking to Trevor Lawrence. He's so comfortable. He's already having shoulder surgery. He's chilling. He's going to rehab. He's the number 1 pick in the draft. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. So now the domino that needs to fall is what happens with that number 2 pick. And then after that, I think that dictates, do we make a run on quarterbacks or do we make a run on receivers? And then are we going best player available, Boss Cowboy? That's what I really see. But yeah, to your point, the most probable landing spot for Deshaun Watson would be to the Jets based on the structure of the draft and what's going on right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's gonna be somewhere. I just, cause somebody go take Deshaun and they go give up a boatload for him. Another team that's a good place for Deshaun, and I think the interest is sincere, is Carolina. I think Carolina is actually the best place and the most mutual beneficial place for all parties.
And you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Tavis. Right? He says that the Jets are gonna draft Fields at number 2. And he also says that the Miami Dolphins are going to pick the Heisman-winning wide receiver from Alabama at number 3. That's what Mr. Banks says, all right, in the chat. So I want to give him a shout out on that. What you think about that, Boss Cowboy?
Say it again.
He says that the Jets stay at number 2 and they draft Fields out of Ohio State, quarterback, at number 2. And at number 3, they stand pat. Miami Dolphins, they go ahead and get Tua some help, young starting quarterback out of Miami, which does make a whole lot of sense. They link him right back up with the receiver he played with a year ago and the Heisman-winning receiver out of Alabama. They'll draft him at the third pick. I'm not
too certain the Jets is going with a quarterback. My boy E. Kush, I want to kick a special shout out to E. Kush. This thought came from E. Kush. We was talking on the phone a little while ago. He's actually a contributor to the show. So y'all gonna be seeing E. Kush. He brought this up a little while ago, my boy E. And he's a Dallas Cowboy out of St. Louis. So y'all show love for E. Kush. We obviously gonna, give my boy some love. But yeah, it could be to where, because if you know you wanted a quarterback, you in tank mode, unselfishly, you're not trying to win. The fact that the Jets gave up the number 1 spot, meaningless game, that's an indication that they could be thinking we just need to build around Sam Darnold.
I think they like Sam Darnold, Boss Cowboy.
Yeah, that's why I say it's our guy. We like our guy.
Hey, listen. This is what I am going to predict. I say Jacksonville picks Trevor Lawrence at 1. I think Seou is going to the Jets at number 2, and now you got 2 bookends to protect Sam Darnold.
We
And
like
you
our
know
guy.
what? Hey, look, we like our guy, and guess what? Those boys are gonna keep him upright because you got a left tackle, a McKilf out of Louisville, this big old humongous mountain of a man that's just a tremendous young tackle, and then you pair him with Sewell out of Oregon. You got your 2 bookends for the next 10, 12 years. Now you ain't got no excuses. You better stand in that pocket and complete the football.
Right. I want to take this real quick. My boy Lance Bell said, "Boss, speak on March 9th." So the OC and I was talking about March 9th. That's the pivotal day to watch. Okay. So you got to watch March 9th because that's going to decide not only if Dallas is going to tag Dak, but it's also which tag is going to set the course of the future. So if they use an exclusive tag, what that means is Dak cannot at all hit the market. Okay, they belong to the Cowboys in terms of rights. The Cowboys own his rights. It's the Cowboys. Now, Dak also gains leverage because he's not going to sign the tag, because then that gives rights back to Dak, because if he doesn't, he's now untradeable. And that's key, because now if they use the exclusive tag, that means Dak is going to run out the clock. Just think of it like that. He gonna run out the clock. He could just draw up free agency, draw up draft, and then I'm gonna be the only thing left. And when it's safe for me and I'm untradeable and no fire quarterback sitting out there, I'm gonna sign and I'm gonna play this year, and I'm gonna be interviewing with other teams. Okay, because it's gonna be looking more likely that Dallas couldn't keep him at that point, because his price go get so high going into year 3 of another tag. It's gonna be exponential, and it's gonna be higher than what people predicting, because most people are not factoring in the 3 quarterbacks that's pending: Baker Mayfield, Allen, and Lamar. So that's the one side. That's the exclusive. The non-exclusive is the other side. That's if they do that tag, it's a war. That means Dallas is already footed to move on from that. Okay? Because in that tag, they allow Dak to hit the open market. But Dallas gets something called the first rights of refusal. Okay? And so whatever team makes an offer to Dak, then Dallas can say, okay, we'll match that. And then they have to bid it up. They might say, well, we counter with X. And it becomes a bidding war potentially for a team with the cap space and want Dak. Okay? So Dallas is likely not going to do that because they'll be driving up their own price. But if they did do that, they would be more so interested in getting the first rounds, because then they're thinking about drafting a quarterback if they go that route. So if they go that route, if Dallas refuses and say, we not matching that offer you made to him, 40, just too much. Let's just name a number. That's too much. That guarantee too much. We not doing it. We couldn't make it work. Then that team got to give Dallas 2 first rounders. It's actually stupid as hell because Dak is worth way more now. So it's still a losing bet. But you would be now jumping into a scenario where you got to start horse trading. So you got 2 first rounders. You now need a quarterback. You got a middle-aged team. They not an age. They're not young. They in the middle. You see what I'm saying? And you need a guy that's going to come in here and lead these guys now. And you got to trade for this guy with quarterbacks that's looking to get teams that's looking to get quarterbacks, it get real messy on a non-exclusive, but you'll see if Dallas crazy. Like if Dallas is crazy, they go do that non-exclusive, and I'm gonna say, damn, they're crazy. Like they really shot themselves, or they really serious. Like Dallas will let Dak go. That's what I say.
Yeah, this is too valuable to the Cowboys organization in terms of attention, branding, and also they don't want to tank the team in 2021 coming off of COVID. They want to stay in the runnings and they want to stay competitive. So the Cowboys, they may be crazy, but they're not stupid.
Man.
Right? A non-exclusive tag is stupid, okay?
It's stupid.
It's stupid. It's stupid. I'm just going on record.
2 firsts for Dak?
For Dak. No 2 firsts are better than Dak at this point. None. No 2 firsts. Because nobody has started for 4 or 5 years in the league.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody is a projection. It's a prospect, right?
Can I say it like this? Can I say it another way? Just another way. Tell me what you think it is. Mm-hmm. Being the number 1 free agent is bigger than being the number 1 draft choice.
100%. Because you're proven. Because you're proven.
You know what I'm saying? You proven. Like
you have a resume.
You got a resume in the league. So to only get 2 firsts for that?
Right. There's a difference between potential and a proven commodity. So all these guys that we just got finished talking about being drafted in the top 10, these guys are not proven. These guys are potential, right? And the word about potential is they can be potentially really good, but they also can be potentially really bad. And that's when we have another show and we talk about bust. Right, we talk about bust. All right, shout out to Lance Bell, man. Great comment. So here's the whole.
Yeah, I answered this question. That's what we answering this question. So he's showing us love.
Awesome. So at the end of the day, no first round picks are gonna be more valuable to your organization than signing a proven commodity Pro Bowler, rookie, offensive rookie of the year, Dak Prescott. None, no way, no how.
My boy Gary. He said, "Boss, what's your list of top defensive free agents?" Okay,
I got your list, Gary. Go ahead, boss. Right. Hit him.
I'm gonna tell you. Okay. Mm-hmm. First, it's in my book, and so I'm actually wrapping up the book now. So I'm gonna put that out, and I'm gonna tease that more because it's a lot. That's a big question. You can't ask me like. Man, we ain't got time to go through that whole book, Gary. But my preference is right now, obviously, and I'm gonna say this, defensive tackle, obviously. You know what I mean? So that's where I start. I would love to plug that hole, and then obviously number 2, I'm gonna just tease it like this: safeties. And this is the year again where we should easily be able to attain a starting caliber safety without going to the Neiman Marcus. We don't have to go get Simmons. We don't have to go get Marcus. We don't have to. We can have great upgrades in this free agency on some just basic ass Trey Boston. Excuse me. Trey Boston is way better and been way better than Xavier Woods the last 3 times he's been available. And every time he's been cheap. And so that's just one example, man, but I got 10. So I'm not going to reveal them now because, I'm going to do videos on them and all of that. So it's one of those things to where just keep a lookout, because we go switch to heavy content on how to actually fix the Cowboys once we get into that season. You know what I'm saying? So Gary, appreciate the question. Let me see. My boy Lance said, do we make a play at Peterson? No. I don't want to get creative with Peterson when a safety class already good. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in this safety free agency class. And like him saying stuff like, I'm willing to make the move to safety. You know that because you long in the tooth. Like the OC and I broke him down on this show. No. You know what I'm saying? Man. Matter of fact, my top, I'm going to give you my top right now. My top, Gary, I'm going to answer your question. My top free agent right now is J.J. Watt. Behind that, the OC's idea, Von Miller. Those are my two top right now. You know what I mean? Like J.J. Watt, because he plugs a major hole in our defense, and that's the interior. He gives us versatility. He frees up Tank. He helps out Gregory. It's a domino effect to that D-line with that one acquisition. Plus, you get leadership also in the locker room. On top of that, he's rotational, so it should preserve him. He's not going to be an all-out starter every game. He's going to be rotating in with Tristan. Pivotal plays, stuff like that, you know, where you need him fresh, you know. And if we can keep him fresh, keep him rotating, I think that's a perfect pick for us, J.J. Watt.
Yeah, I think J.J. Watt. Go ahead, boss. And
then Von Miller, and then which was the OC's vision a long time ago. He broke that about 4 weeks ago or 5. Yeah. And at first I was like, hell nah. Then OC kept talking. I was like, what was wrong with me?
Yeah. And I'm gonna give you my number one, okay, which is a little bit different than Boss Cowboys, and I'm doing a video on this guy as well. You guys will see that coming up soon. Right. Listen, in division, my number one defensive prospect, especially if you talk in general, but especially for the Cowboys, will be the defensive tackle from the Giants, Leonard Williams. Now, this big monster, all right, can play inside and outside. He's super disruptive. He's young too. He's young. All right, he was a top pick out of USC. He's heavy. He plays inside strong. He rushes the passer well.
But see, OC, that's a week 1 free agent.
No. I'm telling you, though, if we can get him, we solve a lot of problems on that defensive line. We got to pay him.
I agree. No, I agree. I don't even like talking about the Simmons now, bro. And I'm cool that you doing it and still lobbying for it. I think Steven kind of whooped me in line.
Okay.
I'm serious. Like, he not gonna change, bro. He not buying no week 1s. So that's why everything I'm looking at got some Marshalls. Like it's something wrong. It's a scuff on it. It's a thread that's loose on it.
It's like buying from the rack, bro. You're not buying from like Nordstrom's. You go to the rack because it was like they're defective in some way. But okay, so listen, defective in some way. What about Kwame Short, right? That's one of my top ones if you go in the defective route, right?
Right,
yeah. Out of Carolina. And he whooped Connor at least Connor Williams might have like withdrawals and like have passed out if he walks in the building because he whooped the mess out of him.
My boy Keystone say we sleeping on Daquan Jones from Tennessee. Hey man, I haven't caught up on that yet. Man, Keystone, I ain't got up on that yet. Give me a minute, man. I catch up on that. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't peeped in quite yet. But when I do, I come back. We'll talk about that. And we likely go get on the show and go off on that. You know, if you right, you know I'm hands off. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. I'm saying Kwame Short. Look, he's a plugger, right? He's a longer in the tooth, right? He got a little bit of tread on his tire, but right, he's good enough, right, to come in and give some productivity on the interior line because he's still strong, right? He's lost a little bit of quickness, but here's the reason why I don't like a longer in the tooth D tackles that are not super explosive is because we tried that. We tried that with Pope.
Man, don't even do it, bro.
We tried that.
Don't do it.
No, listen, I'm going to tell you. I'm sorry. Do it. Hit whatever button you got to hit. We tried that, Boss Cowboy, and it didn't work out well this past year. It didn't work out well, boss. It just didn't, boss.
Bro, come on now. You dealing with your boy, boss man. Come on, man. I'm your boy, bro.
I'm your boy too, but you
Say,
know Boss Cowboy.
You know I'm foresight guy. I foresee this stuff, man. Listen, I said when we got Poe, I said it. I got many witnesses on this. I said then when people laughed at me that Antoine Woods was a better run stopper. JJ Watt and Poe ain't in the same category. You see what I'm saying? So I'm for the long in the tooth. It's just long as you sawed it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Did you saw it down a little bit?
JJ Watt is still explosive.
Yeah.
That's what I said. That's the exception.
So like I'm for the long in the tooth DTs because Watt is not even close to what he was, but he's still, compared to everybody else, still good. You know what I'm saying? My boy good. Keystone say Geno is washed up. Wow.
Yeah, Geno is a guy that he's a powerlifting guy, you know, squat 700 pounds, bench press 500 pounds, has been very, very dominant inside for Cincinnati. And he's a guy that's really been underrated, to your point, Keystone, his whole career, right? He's been a really good defensive tackle, man, but he's had some injuries, right? And I just think that, man, at this point in his career, he can contribute if healthy. But I think lately, man, he's went through some injuries, man. So it's a question mark about him. But Keystone, I don't think he's completely washed. I think he's washing, right? I think he's washing. He could contribute if he's healthy. All right, Kerry, what you got? If you had to settle for DT Thompson instead of...
Hold on real quick. This is my boy Kerry from the H-Town. We got to add that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll read his
questions. Matter of fact, hold on real quick. When I do see my boy Tavis, I got a thing we do, you know? Yeah, I know H-Town. Yeah, I know what it is, man. I know the H-Town, bro. I know how to do H-Town, man. I got to turn my hat to the side. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's talking about Thompson versus Leonard from the Giants. How big is the drop-off between the two? I think that the DT Tomlinson is a one-position player. I think that Leonard is a multiple-position player, and I think that he is physically a little bit more imposing and he's quicker than Tomlinson. So I think the drop-off will be versatility in the pass game. I think that Tomlinson is a more of a hold a block, shed a block, and make a tackle type guy. I think that Leonard is a split gap, beat double teams because he's so young and he's just super strong and explosive. So I think the drop off is probably about 2 or 3 steps. I think that Leonard is the much better player and he's more versatile. But if we had to settle for Tomlinson, look, he's a 2-gap run defender and he helps you tremendous in the run game, but not as much in the pass game.
Yeah, man. I like to see that my 2 partners from H-Town, both of them high yellow skin, you know what I mean? but my yellow partners out of H-Town, like, you know, see, Kerry, I see what you gonna do now. I know how you H-Town boys rock. Once y'all figure out that y'all H-Town, I already know. Y'all go, hey, OC, what you think? OC, what you think? Hey, Kerry, how you doing? I already know, man. I know how H-Town do it, man.
Don't hate, boss. Don't hate, boss.
No, I got love. Listen, man, you know I love H-Town. And I always said that about H-Town. Obviously, I'm a local guy from Dallas, Texas, but I played football for the University of Houston, and I learned that the culture of Houston is one of the best in terms of sticking together. That's serious. Like, that's no joke. I love that about that city. The people stick together out there. Like, same music. Y'all so crazy. Houston slowed music down.
Draped up and dripped out.
You know what I mean? Slowed music down. And said, this is only for us. If y'all from the outside, y'all won't understand this. They slowed music down and chopped it. And then not only that, they took a medicine and made it their way of you know, that's, I'm like, hey man, that's medicine, man. That's medicine. That's not regular, okay? My boy, that's Kerry though, man. We gonna always show love because, you know, I know the coach of H-Town. I got love for the city all day, for real. So, but y'all don't be doing that yellow skin, H-Town, brotherhood. Y'all keep that at bay. You know what I mean? Y'all keep that stuff. Yeah, so my boy Buddha in the house, and Ken, they showing love. My boy Ken say, UGK, Port Arthur, baby. You from Port Arthur?
Right outside of H-Town.
Okay, kid, if you from Port Arthur, that's what's up, man. We all got love for PA. And then Buddha, you know, he straight out the East Coast acting like he know. He say, yeah, they chopped and screwed was crazy. I could do it. So the opposite of us, I know. Yeah, the South opposite. It's opposite. It really is, man. We green grass and trees and organs. That's our melody. That's how we get down. All right, back to football. All right, because these boys, he done threw that whole thing off. This is the last one we go take. My boy Chuck say, Watt with Smith at the other tee like Leon led.
Really?
Well, that's a bit high.
Yeah.
Because Leon led, but I get his point. I get his point. I get his point, but Leon led.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, man, you gotta say it, man. But I know what he's saying. He basically saying he got to be saying that's gonna be destructive. I still see it being destructive. I see J.J. Watt having the fountain of youth hit him.
I do too. I think he got a 2 or 3 on a good environment. I think he got a 2 or 3 Pro Bowl years left in his body. Yeah, I think he got 2 or 3 Pro Bowl years left in his body.
I think playing for Dallas go turn him out. I think it's gonna turn him. It's because see you was a legend in a whack Houston, and I don't mean to say that to insult the Houston people. I'm talking about professional football. Right. Professional football wise, the culture is totally different. It's very, what have you done for me lately? The people that support the Texans do it more for community than they do for the team. They like, I'm from Houston, I rock the Texans. That's the culture of Houston. It's totally different than Dallas. You get here in Dallas, man, shoot. We got Pastor Douglas in the house. You know,
what's up, Pastor?
And it just goes to show when you even look at the foundation of the people on this show, man, we from everywhere, man. We got Geechee from South Carolina, OC from Houston, I'm from Dallas. Then you got Buddha from New Jersey, Picante from San Antonio. Then you got E. Kush from St. Louis. And this is just one podcast group. Then you got Tavis. Tavis, where you from? I think Tavis from Africa. Keystone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where Keystone from. I think Philly. I think Philly, because he got that Philly accent, I think. And then MJ say he's from Wyoming. What's up? You see what I'm saying? We from everywhere. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but much love, man. And then my boy 43 Flex, he said South Carolina. See, you got to love my boy Geech. See, Geech supposed to have been on the night. He's a South Carolinian, hard with a hard accent, man. Like, he talk like he.
You funny, man. Stop messing around.
No, my boy Geech, no, nobody better not ever trip on Geech because my boy got that accent. But that boy know football. I don't care what nobody say. Shoot, you better stop. You better not be prejudiced on my boy. That boy will school you. That boy will teach you. And so then my boy Keenan Roy, he say San Antonio and Corpus Christi. I like how boy shot it out at the end. Show some love then. Show where you from. My boy Gary say real quick before we get out of here. I like this. My boy say Arkansas. Yeah, Mike Evans. I see you, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we got Queen in the building. What she say?
I'm an ATL, but from NYC, New York. Stand up. I see you, Queen.
Oh man, no wonder you go so hard. I see you from two bulldog places, and then we got Chuck in the building. He say Washington D.C. Man, special love for sure, cause you in the war zone. Straight up, bro. All my people from the war zones, that's Dallas Cowboy fans, and of course We got the pastor, you
From
know,
Memphis.
the big time Shizzo from Memphis, heart and soul. Oh yeah, man. Hold on real quick. We gonna get a couple more. We gonna get out of here. My boy William Kill say Plano and now Seattle. Yes, sir. So you hometown. All right. And then my boy Buddha say, oh, hold on. Keystone say, I live in Carolina. My bad. My boy Leonel say Maryland in the building. So see, now we know. Now I know. Yeah, it's a lot. People from everywhere, man, that's rocking with Boss, man. So we always appreciate that. For everybody that's rocking from multiple places. Hold on real quick. My boy Kid say, ATI be thinking about that freak dick. Oh, man. Don't do us.
Don't start.
Don't do us. Don't get us started.
We can't even get into that.
We got another person in the war zone, DMV. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, we definitely appreciate y'all sharing, liking, subscribing. Keep doing that. Don't even leave yet because we got some more stuff that's coming. We want to tease you. Before y'all go, remember, y'all go check this video out. Put this in your favorites. Save this because it's a major disinformation campaign going out there where they're basically blaspheming and creating lies and rumors just to get us into stupid zone to think it's gonna kill us to pay Dak Prescott. So I dig into that, and we debunked that greatly. The OC also got some videos coming. The way that you gonna know those videos coming is you gonna have to subscribe. You gonna have to go over to Facebook and do that. Not Facebook, YouTube. Then also y'all go check this video out. It's one that really breaks it down as well. That way we all on the same page and we not falling for the okie doke. All right, that's really important to me that Cowboy fans be educated and that because we're loyal. That's what we do. We want. If Dak was tripping, we would say it. If Dak was being greedy, we would say it. We'd be like, damn, bro, like I would say it, but this is not the case. We just want this whole thing to work out. Did you have some, OC?
No, man, like, share, subscribe, check out the videos on YouTube, continue to support, and also you can support us and help us improve content, drop more content, create more videos. $ Boss Cowboy Sports on the Cash App. We appreciate your support. We got a lot more stuff coming as we get into free agency and the draft. So stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe.
Right on. All right, and so then, you know, obviously follow Boss Cowboy Sports on Facebook, and then the Twitter. We got a lot going on, but it's backwards. That's the only one that's not uniform to everything else. It's Cowboy_Boss is where it's my handle, but then also my Instagram is Boss Cowboy Sports, and then YouTube. Now I told you we got something coming. Don't leave. Don't start walking out. Don't act like church. You know, as soon as y'all get the last bit, we finna wrap it up. Y'all start grabbing your keys so you can, you know what I'm saying? Depends on if you're a mega church or not. But yeah, definitely do that. And then obviously every time y'all support us, we appreciate. But this is what I want to tell y'all. Don't leave yet, please. Y'all stay put. Announcement's not over. We got a special guest. All right. So I'm rocking with my boy West Coast on Wednesday. I want to make sure everybody know we're not going to have the Boss Cowboy Show at its normal time. It's still going to be on this page. Okay. So I'm going to rock on this page. But we talking and we're going to go deep with my boy Barry Church. All right. So we going in, we going to cover everything that we can and really just talk real professional football with a guy who put on those pads for this star. So y'all come in, check that out. Y'all know how we do it. West Coast and I, Boss Cowboy. You know, we really talk very real talk and we don't hold back. We not paid by the Cowboys, so we can ask the tough questions. And we will, you know what I mean? And we also go represent very well. So y'all check that out too. It's gonna be right back here on this page. You're gonna see that. You also be looking out for some videos from the OC. that's coming as well. And I want to tell y'all just real quick again, this is how you gonna know it's me. If it's a video that's coming from me and you thumbing through the YouTube page, mine is gonna be in black. Okay, so if it's a unique video and you looking for just Boss Cowboys video, mine would be in black. The OCs, because he's a yellow bone, he's gonna be in white. You know what I'm saying? We make it, but you know, he's mixed with white. I'm not as mixed with white as he is. He's kind of white guy a little bit. He got some white guy in him more than me. I got a little white guy in my genes too. But look at it. Look at this guy. He's almost white. He's a white guy.
Hey man, it's all good, man. Look, we got some content coming. We gonna keep it pushing. We gonna keep it coming. Also, we got a surprise for you guys in the next few weeks. Okay, so when we launch the Insiders, all right, we're gonna launch the Insiders, man. We're gonna have some unique offerings for you guys, all right. And so I want you guys to stay tuned about that. If you want to go deeper with us, if you want to get exclusive film content, you want to get exclusive access to us, we'll be launching that over the next couple weeks, and y'all stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I didn't know you was gonna tease him with that. That's what I'm talking about.
I gotta let them know that it's coming, boss. We gotta keep the people informed. We gotta let the people get ready, okay? Get ready for this. This is gonna be hot.
Yeah. Now we did tell y'all we gonna load y'all up on this off season. We not even close to full capacity. So I didn't know you was gonna tell them already.
But give them a little bit, boss. A little bit.
All right, it's cool. So y'all keep a lookout for that Insiders that's coming. I definitely want to, before we get out of here, I want to shout out my boy Javon Brooks. Javon, I see you, man, in the field. I appreciate it, man. You always got people that's scrappers for the truth. And I think the people that rock on our show are those types. I'm being honest. Like, everybody that rocks with Boss Cowboy Sports and the group that's in here, man, we for the truth. We not for just hype and BS. Like, and that's my boy Javon. And yes, I do. Javon, I had a comparison with Romo. It's on my page. DM me and I'll send it to you a fresh copy. Fresh off the JPEG. All right. fresh, undisputable. And the thing about it, just to explain that, because a lot of people get that meme wrong that I created. That doesn't show the whole Romo career because that's what's available. Okay, just letting that be clear. So it's what we have. Okay, so when people try to combat that, just say, hey, that's what's available, but you can go directly to the source and you can see where the 43% came from. Dak had to be done by hand, but it's the 2019 from his rookie year. It's not current up to 2020. But just letting you know. So, man, y'all take it easy, man. We got much love for you. Remember, man, we loyal. We not devoted, and we gonna stay that way to the day we die.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.